guys excited? That was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. But I think you guys can do better. Because I just want them over in the other panel to be like, what is going on? So, can y'all do it again? Loud as you can.
Sure. Gotta do a countdown.
Countdown! Not as loud as you can. Let me just think about it. So, let's see. Well, we'll actually wait. We're about ready. So, as loud as you can. Again, I guess it is. So, 3, 2, 1. So, my pleasure to introduce to you guys Steve Downs and Jen Taylor.
I was suspecting them. I sprinkled fairy dust on them because I wasn't quite sure what else to do there.
So let's give the hard
Thank you, our support crew here. Dismissed, soldiers.
Here we go. So, you know, I know we're going to have a lot of questions. This is a huge, huge group. So, a little bit of guidelines. So one thing that I think would make it so that we can all get our questions in. Try to keep them as short and sweet as we can so that we can be able to make sure everybody gets these questions answered. Sound all right?
Yeah.
All right, so if you look right there in the middle, there is a microphone. You know, I don't want anybody to run rush each other. I saw you, and I didn't like it. So, you know, in an orderly fashion, if you could just make a line from there, and let's have a great time, guys.
Let's start with, hi, my name's Steve Taylor. And
I need a weapon.
Yeah.
I guess let's go. Let's dive into our first question.
Okay, I have two, actually, to start. My first is the pistol sidearm in the first game was absolutely amazing. Probably one of the best weapons. Do you think it deserved how much it got nerfed in the second game?
Yes.
Let's just say. Always love the questions about the weapons.
What is your second question?
My second question is, what is your favorite Halo game?
I can speak for Jen. Our favorite Halo game is Halo 4. We loved the story of Halo 4. It's always where I had hoped the franchise would move into the relationship between Cortana and Master Chief. And it was the first time that Jen and I first and only time that Jen and I have actually worked together in the same studio at the same time, which was a particular thrill for me. So
We had actually only just met before we recorded Halo 4. We'd never met before, so it was the very beginning of our friendship. I also, I mean, it is such a hard thing to choose because the Bungie years were amazing. Halo 4 was awesome because we got to work together. Halo Infinite for me was also a real pleasure because I got to do performance capture for it and play 3 different roles. So that was really fun. So it's hard to choose, but that's...
I would say 4 and Infinite, but it is kind of like picking your favorite kid. So,
Sophie's choice of here, yeah. Thank you.
Anyway, I disagree with the pistol nerf, but thank you.
Hello, my name's Clark. My question is kind of the same for both of you, and I have just one for Master Chief. But my question I have is, out of all the lines you all have had for your characters, a lot of them have evoked a lot of emotion in players, obviously. But I'm curious as to which ones got to you the most when you were delivering them.
Which stories?
Which quotes?
line? Oh,
Yeah.
Well, the one there's several. I mean, there's the fun ones like relax. I'd rather not piss this thing off. It's a personal favorite, but from an emotional standpoint, it's really the end where Lasky and the Chief are on the bridge towards the end of Halo 4, and Lasky's going on, and the Chief, of course, is completely stoic. And Lasky finally says something about you're not just machines, and then Chief finally speaks as if to himself, saying, "She said that to me once about being a machine," and that's sort of that was like I said, at the tail end of Halo 4, so that line always sort of resonates, I guess.
I've waited so long to do that. And also, welcome home, John. That one, and I feel like they made us record that scene over and over. It's like, okay, I'm gonna cry at the end of the day.
I can't remember, this came up very recently. I don't know if I was online or something, but it was about the line where you say, I've waited so long to do that. Was that it was a suggestion for the first time that Cortana was taking a physical form. And actually touching, which up until that point, her hand would have gone right through it, but as a matter of fact, she did touch me. I don't know, I thought it was sort of an interesting take on that particular scene.
And for Master Chief, I was just
That Cortana had taken human form.
And for Master Chief, I was just curious, in your opinion, what do you think his favorite weapon would be? Out of all the weapons he steals on the battlefield and uses?
Favorite weapon?
Mm-hmm.
Assault rifle, big fan, does a lot of damage quickly, gets things over with in a hurry.
Thank you both so much.
His fists.
First of all, I wanted to just say thank you guys for being here this weekend. It means a lot to me. Been a Halo fan since 2002, and I play with my son. He's 5 years old. He absolutely loves the game. My question is, did either of you see the story going the way it did with Cortana succumbing to rampancy and becoming a planet-destroying monster? Love you, Jen.
I don't know. I guess we sort of had hints of something like that in 3, right? But I wasn't sure we were gonna keep going. We sort of thought at 3 we were done. That was the end. And so when we kept going, it made sense to me. It made sense. I was surprised, I guess, is how I felt. Yeah, like, oh, right. Oh God, now we have to go here.
I don't know that I can elaborate on that, yeah.
It was so fun to do. It was so fun to do.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Ricky. I got a question for the Master Chief. Behind the scenes, when you were doing some recording for Halo 3, how did you feel when you met the Arbiter, voiced by Keith Davis?
Well, unfortunately, at that time, I did not meet Keith David. Keith David.
Because you would have fangirled.
Which I did eventually. But he recorded in LA, presumably, and I was recording in Halo 3 in Chicago. It's kind of a two-part question. I think that I liked the way they brought the Chief and the Arbiter together. I thought that was a nice, thing, two warriors, finally joining forces, et cetera, et cetera. And then Keith David as an actor, as Jen suggested, I fanboyed all over him. I saw him at a convention in Atlanta many years ago, and I was definitely the geek in that crowd. You know, it was like, oh my God, it's Keith Gamer! And he couldn't have been more nicer. And then we got to meet again with Jen, and I guess it was just the three of us, at the Halo World Championships last October. Keith was there, Jen was there, and I was there, and we had a blast. We got to do some scenes together. And
He gave me his phone number to text him.
yeah, so yeah, he's a great actor, great singer too, by the way. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jordan. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you guys so much for providing your voices for all of us. My question for you, both of you guys, is have you heard about the Twitch streamer Trevelyan who beat Halo 2 on Legendary All Skulls On?
No.
Alright,
That's a very short answer. I would like to know more. And
Yes,
now
sir.
I will go home and Google.
Alright, so there was basically a guy who turned all the skulls on, so it's basically the hardest mode of Halo 2. It's basically impossible to beat. Someone did it without dying one time in 6 hours and 29 minutes.
I love it. I love that people are still invested in playing this. I never dreamed in a million years that I would be part of a project that people would still be so excited about 20 years later. It's such a gift. It's such an honor to be a part of it. It's really cool.
I can't tell you how many times just today I heard people say, "Yeah, me and my buddy, we went back to play, the Master Chief Collection again. We do it every year, things like that." I mean, it's just that's why this game has become so ingrained in the video game culture, and a testament to how well it was written and put together, that it still holds up in the case of Combat Brawl 24 years later.
Thank you so much.
Come on, do it, get it done.
Yes, how you doing? My name is Marcus. I'm a big fan. A lot of hours in Halo 2. I still been playing or studying in college, but I've been a fan since the beginning. I have two questions. First question is, I know we just got Halo 2, but do you think there will ever be a time where we move away from Master Chief? I know they tried it with Locke, and a lot of people didn't receive it well, but do you ever think there will be a time where we move away from Master Chief being the main character?
Not if I have anything to say about it.
My guess is yes. I mean, we've got Halo Wars, right? So my guess is that yeah, they probably will. That they'll at a certain point feel like our story is done, and maybe we'll become aside, like occasionally popping by whoever the new, like, hey, what's up?
And the current characters will go, "You again?"
Yes. Leave us alone.
Jeez, I thought he would never leave. Somebody asked me this just very recently up at the table about how I thought the character, how Master Chief should end. And I think, the answer is, to me, pretty obviously, because Master Chief is the classic hero's journey story, and there's only one way for that to end, and it's not retiring in Miami. Even though I have. That's not how he goes.
But
So I think that's obvious.
I'm going to fight you on this one. We learned from Marty O'Donnell, and if you look at the structure of the piece, is that the actual hero of the hero's journey of the game is Cortana. Truly, if you look at the hero's journey, right? So, because as the player, it's hard for you to change, right? Like you're playing yourself. So Cortana's already gone. So you don't have to. The chief can go on and on and on, and just sort of disappear into the ether.
No. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, thank you. And my second question is, how do you guys, are you guys enjoying, how do you like the actual Halo series?
The Halo series?
Yes, on camera.
Steve.
I have no role in it whatsoever. So I think there's an actor in the series who does an unbelievable job of voicing Cortana. And whoever that is, she's amazing.
You know what? It's a great gift to me. It's super fun. I get to go on set and be in these worlds. Spoiler alert, end of season 2, we land on that Halo, and it was the most beautiful place I've ever been on the planet. So getting to go to those places and be physically in them was a dream come true. And to see all the Spartans walking toward me, all of those actors are at least, well, Pablo's what, 6'5", 6'6". All of those actors are like 6'3", and they're wearing, it's just crazy watching them come, so that was, after 20 years of doing the show, to actually physically feel like or doing the game, to physically feel like I was in it, was overwhelming and emotional and breathtaking for me. So being a part of it is a great gift. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
I have a question for Jen. When people think of Xbox, they think of Halo. When people think of Nintendo, they think of Mario. Have you ever considered joining the Sony franchise and completing the
I love like slight goose. You know what? Sony, call me is my, give me a call. Let's do it. There you go, right?
Hi there, my name is Tim. Thank you for being here. I've got a question for both of you. I think I speak for everyone here when I say we all have a lot of wonderful memories with Halo. So my question to both of you is, whether it's playing the game or behind the set, what is your favorite Halo memory?
One of my favorite memories was meeting a person who has become one of my very best friends. And this was in 2011. And I walked into the lobby of a hotel, Sheraton Hotel. We were doing some, I don't remember what it was for. What was it, 10 years?
10th anniversary.
10th anniversary. We were doing some talk back there. And I walked in and I saw him and I gave him a huge bear hug. And I said, finally, someone who gets it, who's on this journey with me, and to meet somebody who became such a big part of my life was one of my favorite memories.
Yeah, that would certainly be
surprising.
No. It's right up there. I mean, it's when Jen and I first met, it was, as you just described, it was nobody up until that point. We'd been doing it for 10 years at that point, and nobody could really understand what was happening to us from a not only from a career standpoint, but from really a life-changing standpoint. And it's only gone on exponentially since then. And then when Jen and I first met, I was like, God, without even saying anything. I mean, we just, we finally had a partner in crime for real this time. And then a few months later, then we actually got to work together. But yes, that was, I mean, there's so many great moments. I think, being at these shows and meeting you all and knowing how much, in many cases, the game has touched you in a way that, for the longest time, was difficult for me to grasp. And over time, I've sort of gotten it. But to know how important it was and how many times the game has been a refuge for you, or an enlightenment, or something that brought you and your current best friend, or your husband or your wife, or you and your dad got to bond on that touch. To know that we had some small part in that is incredibly satisfying and humbling and rewarding. So I think it's maybe not one single moment, but a conglomeration of these kind of experiences that are very touching and very moving.
I think what's important to note as well is for the first, especially the first 3 games, but more so for you throughout the series, we record these in a small booth by ourselves. So it's pretty isolating. And so we don't know, I mean, I had no idea really how popular it was. Because my friends didn't play video games, and nobody, you know, it wasn't something, it wasn't like the face of Microsoft or something like that, right? It was the voice, but not the face. So, like, you don't really have, it's slightly different. You don't really have a notion of how much it means to people until, as you say, we come to places like this. So, that is very gratifying and edifying. Fying, it's very fying.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, I'm Jason.
Jason.
And I'm in an awkward position because all the questions I was going to ask, everybody had already asked.
That makes me angry.
So I would pose this question to you, Jim. How did you prepare for doing live action series versus how did you prepare for doing voice capture for video?
Right, how did it prepare? So I'm a theater actor, which is mostly what I've done throughout my life. And I feel like doing performance, I had done performance capture for Infinite, and for the 5th game, and actually for Halsey in the 4th game. There was the Spartan Ops moment, and at the very beginning, Halsey's talking to the Oni guy, and she's sitting there talking about John, and then she puts her hands up on the table. That was me.
That was your hand.
Those are my hands. So I felt like I was understanding performance capture in a way, and it's very similar to theater acting. And yet at the same time very technical, like being on a TV show or a film, whatever, right? It's very similar. So I felt prepared for that. However, for the show, I was nervous, and it happened, I don't know how much you guys know, but it happened sort of last minute. They were already working on the show, and it was, because of COVID, they had shut everything down. So they were about 6 months to a year into shooting the first season before I came along, and I wasn't allowed to tell anybody about it. It was until they announced it, right? But that was several months, so I had to be like, Mom, I'm flying away somewhere. Why? Because I couldn't tell anybody. So that was more of the burden of not knowing, and it being COVID and us having to be, super intense protocol around that. But I felt, as far as a performer goes, I felt ready, and I was also really open to learning how to do performance capture on a live TV, on a show where everybody else is performing, it's live, right? So that was different. I had a different sort of job, and it was trying to just be, I'm really rambling, it was trying to just be as open as I possibly could be to learning and new experiences. That was what it was for me. Ramble, 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 ramble.
No, that was very good. Thank you.
Hey, my name is Ben. I just want to say thank y'all for coming to Alabama and Roll Tide. My question is, with a lot of people considering Halo Infinite to be kind of a flop, where do you think the franchise will be headed?
I love it when people say that.
Yeah. Although I would disagree, and
I enjoy the game.
No, I mean on 2 levels. First of all, commercially, it's hardly a flop, and secondly, I think it was extremely well received on the initial release. I think some problems came up, mainly with multiplayer post-release, that soured people on the game. But I think 343 has done things over the past 3 years since the game came out to adjust those things. And I believe I don't know, but I believe this as well. So I don't think it was ever considered a failure. It just could have been more good.
I
failure part was more of the community's personal opinion, not monetarily that thing, but great explanation. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rain, Chief Warrant Officer, United States Army, and I think that the Halo series, spanning a couple of decades as a storytelling medium, has kind of allowed Master Chief to serve as a proxy for every veteran in my generation, and I think he certainly deals with a great deal of loss and frustration, and probably even PTSD, and I like to think it's a lot of people in my generation who didn't serve understand what my service might have been like, my own loss, my own challenges. Do you think that Halo as a video game spanning a couple of generations and a couple of decades has allowed it to connect with people better as a storytelling medium than maybe past ventures like MASH or Apocalypse Now might have?
That is a heavy question.
Sorry, I know that one was way out.
No.
I've waited years to ask it.
Firstly, thank you for your service. And thank you to everybody in this room. If you've served, thank you for what you have done and for putting other people before yourself. It's pretty remarkable. Because it's set in the future, right? He can be, I think, like unlike MASH, which you say, which is set in a very specific war.
Yes.
The Korean War, correct? If I'm right. Or Saving Private Ryan, or that is said, this, as you say, he can be an emblem for so many warriors out there, anybody can find some sort of kernel of truth, some experience that they have had, with the chief. And yes, I mean, I think you've answered your own question just in asking it. Truly, I think that is one of the beautiful things about him, is that you get to see slowly and throughout this hero's journey, you get to see him breaking open, if you will, and that is a beautiful, terrifying thing, I imagine, as any kind of warrior, to make yourself feel, to allow yourself to be weak, if you will. And I use that word, but that's not really what I mean. Emotional, open, and I think it's a lovely lesson, right? It's hard for me to speak because I haven't served my country in that way. So I feel like I am not, really able to speak to that. But that does make sense to me, for sure.
I think that two things come to mind when you bring that. The first one is, initially I was surprised when, vets who, had served in active duty and served in combat theaters would tell me that this is something they would do in their off hours. And at first it surprised me, because I'm like, Jesus, that's the last thing. I mean, I could see you watching Disney films or something instead of that. But, so it took me a while to understand what the release was for you, after a hard day's work in real combat, to come back and play a game like Halo. The other thing that comes to mind is, and this was the genius of the creators of the game, is to make Master Chief a faceless character, so that all of you could put yourself inside that suit and live that life, as opposed to watching a film with other actors portraying it, and you're in much more of a passive role, which I think is one of the things about video games in general, is that you are not a passive observer, you are an active participant, and that may have lent itself, in the case of those of you who either were or became servicemen, to look at a character like Master Chief and the Spartans in general as a source of inspiration. And like Jen said, you got to see, this character struggle with his emotions and suffer loss, and all of that. And so you got maybe a more complete picture of what the whole thing is about, and, yeah, as much as a futuristic video game can do. But those are the two things that kind of come to my mind in that regard.
Has your journey as John and Cortana allowed you to connect with veterans in real life elsewhere?
I'm sorry?
Has your journey as John and Cortana allowed you to connect with veterans in real life?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. Yeah, definitely. It's an eye opener. I'm a freaking actor. I never served in the military, and so when I have people like yourself tell me that character, was an inspiration. I mean, I'm just like, humbled by it and can't really take any credit for it. But just sort of share your admiration for this character, I think.
Thank you.
All right, before you go, I love you, and I appreciate you. So we're running a little bit short on time, so I want to try to make sure that everybody gets it. So we're going to kind of do a speed round. So.
We're too talky.
Oh, no, that's great. I think everybody enjoys it. So yeah, we just want to do it. So
Okay,
great
we're
job.
doing it. We're doing it.
You guys are all good. I appreciate you guys for coming out. My question is to Jen mostly about your character with Ruby. Was the connection to Ruby from Rooster Teeth? Did that channel kind of open up for you through Rooster Teeth's work with Halo, with Red vs. Blue, and your work with Cortana?
Yes. So I met Bernie at, I think I met him when I was shooting the Cortana Chronicles. Anybody seen the Cortana Chronicles? No, you can watch them online, YouTube. It's just me being dumb and traveling around the world, being surprised that people liked Halo. It was that dumb. Anyway.
It was a long time ago.
I met Bernie, and I later, when Red vs. Blue was really a big thing, I contacted him and I said, I want to be in Red vs. Blue. And he's like, Jen, you can't be in Red vs. Blue. That doesn't work. And I was like, yes, it does. What are you talking about? He's like, no, I don't. I said, I'll do anything. I'll be a rock. I'll do whatever. And he basically said no, no, and no. And then he called me 6 months later, something like that, emailed me 6 months later and said, I do have something else for you. And that was how it happened. Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
So I have a quick question for Steve, and then I have a request for Jen. Unfortunately, you don't be asking me on that one. So, Chief, do you think that Master Chief ever met George from Reach? And if so, what was his opinion of him?
I don't know, and I don't, because I had very little to do with Reach. I know very little about it. So,
I bet they met in the canteen.
yeah, okay, let's go with that. They had a couple of drinks, things got out of hand.
Yes, they had a couple of bourbons.
Alternatively, what's Master Chief's favorite memory of your time?
Oh, wow. The more she pressures me, the dumber I get. God, I don't know, a million thoughts come into mind. There's something about the scene in 4, I believe, where the character who Adrienne Barbeau played, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I remember that because I had a huge crush on her.
Huge crush on you.
But anyway, and her, she gets wiped out along with the whole scientific, and Chief gets there, and Cortana's reaction, I believe I have this right, is saying, Chief is like, what's happening? Is there anybody here? And she says, nothing but dust and echoes. And I thought that, I remember when that line was being done, and then when I saw the cinematic, I thought it was pretty dramatic and cool. Remember that? No?
And then for Jen, I'll give you an option. Either your favorite line from the Halo franchise in the voice of Salem, or your favorite line from the Ruby series in the voice of Cortana.
They're not that far apart. Salem just drops down here, right, and is really pissed off all the time. Welcome home, John.
And John is like, okay.
Thank you very much. I have a question for Steve. How do you feel about your character always falling out of like vehicles?
Awkward. Awkward.
Thank God for Mjolnir.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he has some balance issues that need to be corrected. But thank God it doesn't happen in real life. So I'll say that.
Thank you.
Mr. Romeo, what would be your favorite character besides yourself?
Sergeant Johnson.
I have a question for Steve. Did you voice act Master Chef, Master Chief from Halo Legends?
Did I voice Master Chief what?
From Halo Legends?
No. Is that the animated series?
Yes.
No, I had nothing to do with that. I don't know who the guy was. Yeah, I have no idea.
Thank you.
I have a question for Steve. So, how did you create the voice of Master Chief after you did your radio show?
It was Marty O'Donnell and I met. I'd actually done a character in a game before Halo called Satara Core. I say it was a minor character, Marty would say, it wasn't a minor character! But anyway, a year later, they were doing Halo, and so he brought me in and we talked, and he described the Halo universe, and he described Master Chief and all that. And basically, our launching point was Clint Eastwood. And he said, think of Clint Eastwood when he was doing the spaghetti westerns, and that guy made a few words, but when he spoke, somebody usually died. And that's where, and you know, I could hear it in the first two games where I was really kind of doing Clint Eastwood as best as I could. I think I moved on from that after 2, but when I listened to Combat Evolved in Halo 2, I could definitely hear some Clint Eastwood in there. So, but that was sort of the launching point and morphed into something. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you all for the memories.
Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? So I was actually at the ACS when you all went up into the wineries with Keith David, and I basically wanted to ask, other than Keith David, because I know you all mentioned meeting him for the first time there, what voice actor, other than Keith, did y'all have like starstruck?
Voice actor?
Voice actor?
I don't know that I've been starstruck by another voice actor.
I would say.
I have been starstruck before, but
You want to tell that story?
I don't know. You love this story. I'm
I
interested
won't
to
tell.
get your opinion.
I won't tell. No, I have a lot of respect for a lot of voice actors. One that comes to mind is Tim Dadaba, who was the voice of Guilty Spark. The guy is multi-talented and can do a multitude of voices, and I am not that person. Jen does a variety of voices. I'm pretty much a one-trick pony, and so I have a lot.
Very good trick, though.
Yeah, I got one trick, but it's a good trick.
It is a damn good trick.
You know, there are people who are intimidating. Steve Bloom is here, you guys. Holy bonkers. Right? So there are definitely people that you're like, wow, you're remarkable. But I don't know that I've gotten starstruck. But respect, you know what I mean? Like, whoa, respect you.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the last one.
Are you sure we're gonna do it? No, come on. We're gonna do it. You're up. We're doing it. Hi.
Do you think Master Chief would ever go rogue or just
Joke? Well, he kind of did in Guardians. You know, he went off the rails a little bit there in his search for Cortana and all of that. So I felt that was a moment where he,
As roguish
as a devoted
deal. Do you have any advice for what any aspiring voice actors? Because I have a friend who's wanting to go into voice acting.
I say this, and it's not a joke, get used to rejection. Because that's the hardest thing, and you will get it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it's not about you. Tell them that. It's not about you. It may not be what they want, but it's not about you. Keep trying, keep going. It's gonna happen. It's part of your job.
Thank you, guys.
Think about how you felt in 6th grade math. It's kind of like that all the time.
I have a question for both of you. What's that? So, Peter Cullen's inspiration for Optimus Prime is be strong enough to be gentle, and it's an enduring beard throughout all the franchise. So, what's the enduring idea for both Cortana and Master Chief? They're running against between both of them.
That's a big one.
I'm sorry.
I know, it's okay.
The enduring idea behind the characters, just off the top of my head, loyalty, devotion, honor, and respect. That's what I would think when I would think of Master Chief.
I don't know. I think the beauty of Cortana is that she's your one buddy in the trench with you, right? Loyalty is another thing. Constancy, pluck. How many of us have? Well, now we all have a computer in our pocket, but like, how many of us really have that happen in our head all of the time? Who's there to help you? I mean, just constant service. It's about service, right? But serving the greater good, but truly serving the person in the trenches with you. That's what it's about. It feels like that way. Yeah.
It's sort of AI in its best configuration, which I think why Cortana takes on a different meaning now as opposed to 20 years earlier because of the advent of AI and how it's touched all of us. And so Cortana's sort of the best version of AI.
Yes. Okay, we can do it.
Hi, thank you for coming out. I got a quick one.
What's that?
Shotgun or energy sword? Shotgun or energy sword?
Shotgun? Are you kidding me? I think I'll take the energy sword.
Were there any instructions that you disagree with and improv your own lines?
Well, we would have been fired. I mean, you do get to improv a little bit towards the end, right? When they're like, okay, you're now gonna die, so give us some silly lines, or give us something that is, I mean, I didn't have to do this very much, but you would, I'm sure, have had more, like, okay, die quickly, die short, die long, die, and die like Goofy.
Yeah.
We have gotten through all the questions.
We did it!
And I'm so proud, so happy to have you guys here. Let's give it up one more time.
Thank you. We'll be back at the table in 20, 30 minutes or so, because we haven't got to make sign yet, so by all means.
Photos first, and then we'll be there. Okay.
Dude, that was fucking awesome.